in the year of our Lord 2026, studio time is not as big of a deal because people can record things from their basement or from their bedroom or from the kitchen or wherever. But 1975, 76, you spend 6 months, playing around the world and 21 and free and horse on company time. That could get you in trouble. But it didn't get Leon and Marvin in trouble because I Want You was another smash. What's going on, everybody? You're right on time for day number 3 of the BMM 30 series here on the Groove Line with your host, Chris Stevens. Hopefully, you all are doing well out there. Hopefully, you enjoyed these first 2 days talking about Heavy D and Chuck Brown. And we're going to talk about another dearly departed legend from the world of soul and R&B, Mr. Leon Ware, who was born February 16th, 1940, passed away from colon cancer 1 week after his 77th birthday, February 23rd, 2017. And this gentleman, he was kind of like the Forrest Gump of Quiet Storm and R&B in the 70s. I mean, he worked with everybody. He worked with Quincy Jones. He worked with Minnie Riperton, Marvin Gaye, which we'll get into in a minute. He even co-wrote something something for Maxwell. So Leon Ware, his credits are endless, and his story is very interesting. He blinded himself in his right eye with a slingshot when he was like 2 or 3 years old, and apparently they thought that his parents thought that if they blinded the other eye because they put a patch over his left eye and said, well, we just gonna have this boy be a blind boy. He ended up going to the same blind school for the visually impaired that Stevie Wonder eventually went to. But he eventually was able to keep the sight in that left eye and was able to live a reasonably normal life. And he started writing songs with Motown in the early 60s. He wrote a lot for the Isley Brothers, and he mentioned that it was kind of like being, you know, very in a very, very competitive state when you look at what Motown was, dealing with in the 60s. You had Smokey, you had Holland Dozier Holland, you had Ivy Joe Hunter, Norman Whitfield. These are all people Stevie was starting to write at this particular point in time. You had people who literally just could write songs and make hits. And Leon Ware was able to somehow cut through that, writing stuff for the Jacksons. He wrote I Want to Be Where You Are for Mike. We'll talk more about that in a minute. And his biggest come to Jesus moment was writing for Ike and Tina Turner when he co-wrote a ton of songs, more than half of the songs on Ike and Tina Turner Reviews, Enough Said album. And that got him back in the door at Motown, where he wrote I Want to Be Where You Are for Michael Jackson. He released his self-titled debut album on United Artists in 1972. This is around the time he started a songwriting and producing partnership with T-Boy Ross, who of course was Diana Ross's younger brother. And T-Boy, unfortunately, was dealing with drugs and different things of that nature and died really, really young. But they started work on an album in 1975 called I Want You. Now, Marvin Gaye, he had not recorded an album in a year or two. The last thing Marvin had put out was 1974's Live in Oakland, which of course has that undeniable version of Distant Lover on it. So Barry signs Leon to a artist contract at this particular point in time, and he's working on his debut. And Leon takes the demos to Barry, and Barry says, "Wait a minute, I hear Marvin on this, so we're gonna take these to Marvin." And what you gonna say? Or what are you gonna say? Are you gonna say, "Hell no, don't take that to Marvin Gaye. That's my music"? Or you could be smart like Leon Ware and say, "Hey, Marvin singing and putting out my stuff means that people are gonna know who Leon Ware is. Okay, let's do it." And Barry was like, "You know what? You're being such a good sport. You get to produce the album." And it took him 13 months to do the album. Why? Because according to Leon, they spent 6 months playing basketball on studio time. Now, in the year of our Lord 2026, studio time is not as big of a deal because people can record things from their basement or from their bedroom or from the kitchen or wherever. But 1975, 76, you spend 6 months, playing around the world and 21 and free and horse on company time. That could get you in trouble. But it didn't get Leon and Marvin in trouble because I Want You was another smash. We already did a review of I Want You a few months ago on this channel. And Leon had to go and re-record his whole debut album all over again from Motown. And Musical Massage is actually a really good album. Really, really good album. And He also did a album, in '79 where he does an up tempo version of "Inside Your Love," which he wrote for Minnie Riperton, by the way. It's that song. The explanation that Leon always gave with that song always felt like, "Sure, Leon, right, yeah, mm-hmm." So the lyric, we all know the lyrics. Can you see inside me? Will you come inside me? Do you want to ride inside my love? Sounds pretty freaky to me. But Leon is talking about it from the. He says he swore, I guess until his dying day, that this was about coming inside the Lord's house, and will you come inside the body of Jesus, be one with Jesus or whatever. Hey, if that's what Leon said it meant, I mean the man's been going 9 years. I mean if his spirit is watching this, Leon, I ain't judging you, bro. I ain't judging you. But yeah, that's what he said Inside My Love was about. Fair enough. But yes, he actually did a few more solo albums, "Rocking You Eternally" in 1981, and another self-titled in 1982 for Elektra Records, where he was working with the guys from Toto. And the gem on that album is "Slipping Away." I guarantee you, if you're not heard "Slipping Away" by Leon Ware, like it's this really dramatic song about a dude who's like, man, we were so in love at one point, we were making this happen, but you starting to slip away from me. And he gets to the point near the bridge, I mean near the end of the verse, and in the chorus he goes, keep slipping away, I won't let you keep on slipping away. Like that is the gem off of the second Leon Ware self-title. And he just I get why Barry Gordy assigned the "I Want You" demos to Marvin. Because if you hear Leon Ware sing and you hear Marvin Gaye sing in Marvin Gaye's natural, kind of tenor voice, because Marvin can sing all different levels, but his, the vocals that we hear mostly all the time on, this the verses and everything like that, it's just like a real, sort of thin but a tenor that carries. Leon Ware sang pretty much the same way. So you could hear Leon, you can hear Marvin singing Leon stuff, and you can hear Leon singing Marvin stuff too. Like I think we missed the boat on a great sexual healing version of sexual healing by Leon Ware. I really think we did. But again, he went on to produce things for other people, Vesta Williams, and again Maxwell. He co-wrote something for Maxwell, the original version. Oh, if it's cool, like that's why that's why I always felt like listening to that album. There's some kinship to "I Want You" because, of course, Hello Leon wrote on it, and then you have the mellow, smooth version of something. I need to talk about that a whole nother episode. But yeah, Leon Ware was one of the most interesting people you have ever listened to, talk, or read. There's a great Red Bull Academy interview from 2005 that's like 2.5 hours long, and he is just riffing on spirituality, sexuality, telling stories about how he went down to see the movie Deep Throat, and his co-writer at the time had sort of slid some of their stuff to the Deep Throat producers. So like Leon Ware was like just watching that interview. Leon Ware was somebody that you probably wanted to know if you didn't. Like he was just a very interesting cat all around, and his legacy is secure in the fact that he produced one of the most erotic and pitch perfect albums of the middle part of the '70s, and he had success. I mean, again, it's him. Think about this: when if I ever lose this heaven came out on Quincy Jones's Body Heat album in 1974. There's three people singing on that song that have parts that you can hear. There's Al Jarreau, Minnie Riperton, and Leon Ware. You talk about a big three, boy, that is a classic. That is a classic jazz fusion quiet storm. Again, another one of those early quiet storm bangers that people like Melvin Lindsay adopted and started to play on the late nights in '76, '77, and so on. So that record started to pick up some steam again. Average White Band does an okay cover of it, but I prefer the Quincy Jones version better because that one feels a little more sensual and summertimey, if you will. And again, Leon Ware was just one of the true gems of a period that had a ton of gems. Like again, like I said, he's kind of like the Forrest Gump of black soul in the '70s and '80s. Like again, he in the '60s as well. I mean, he worked with everybody. He worked in Motown. He gave Michael Jackson his first real big solo hit. I mean, I guess did Ben come out before "I Want to Be Where You Are"? I don't think it did, but so I mean, in that case, I think I want to be where you are is, Michael Jackson's first big solo as a 13-year-old, and Leon Ware wrote that. So all the props to Leon Ware. Again, if you have not, just go check out his catalog, man. It's on Spotify. The songs are on YouTube. Like I said, I think my favorite Leon Ware solo song is "Slipping Away." Again, it's produced by David Page and David Foster. Those guys who worked with Toto, and they gave this dude a yacht rock banger. Just go listen to "Slipping Away." Guarantee you will understand why I feel like that is Leon Ware's best solo record. It's great. It's right on time for 1982, which is when it came out. So yes, rest in peace to Leon Ware, a true gem of black music. And again, I'll put the link to the Red Bull interview in the description below. I'll also put his Spotify page there as well, so you can check out Leon Ware for yourself if you're not familiar. But if you are familiar with Leon Ware, let's talk. What are your favorite Leon Ware songs that he's written, produced, or done for anybody else or for himself? Let's talk about it in the comments. That's going to do it for day number 3 here on the Black Music Month 30 series here on the Groove Line. Greatly appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Contact information will be in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe, tap that notification bell so you're notified of all the new videos that drop on this channel. And don't forget to like and comment on these videos because as you know by now, your boy talks back in the comments. So thank you guys for riding with me. 3 days down, 27 to go. Let's have some fun. Till the next time we ride here on the Groove Line, which will be tomorrow. May you find the groove, or may the groove find you.